You're gutter trash. Why even try? You'll just disgrace your family. I stepped into the arena trying to block out the jeering crowd, but their words cut deep. Today was the preliminary trials for enrollment to the Landor Martial Arts Academy. If I was accepted into the academy, I could show everyone I wasn't just a weak loser. My family would finally respect me. Everything relied on this trial. Come on, loser, get it over with and let the real men compete. I heard my cousin Max laughing maniacally in the crowd. I shook off his insults and searched the audience for my father. He looked deadly serious. He was worried about me. I clenched my fists, determined. I wanted nothing more than to make him proud. I approached the infamous Ironstone, the one that determined what stage a warrior had reached through their training. I summoned every ounce of strength and struck the stone with a roar. Stage 3, level low. The entire crowd erupted in laughter. I shook my head. No, that can't be right. I trained every day. I looked toward my father, eyes welling with shame. Next! The examiner shouted. Red with embarrassment, I stepped down as Max made his way to the arena. The crowd roared for him. Max sneered, shoving me to the ground. Watch and learn, cousin. I stood and dusted myself off, biting down my fury. Max stepped up to the stone. With a confident smile, he punched. Stage 8, level high. Cheers thundered. Max raised his arms like a champion, then locked eyes with me and stuck out his tongue like we were still children. Then Cheryl Adler, my girlfriend and the love of my life, approached the stone. Elegant and composed, she delivered a clean punch. Stage 9, level high. The crowd roared. This time, Max joined in. Even though I was upset with my own failures, I was proud of Cheryl and happy for her accomplishments. As she walked out of the arena, I smiled at her, but she quickly looked away. My heart sank. Was she that embarrassed to be seen with me publicly? I kept my eyes glued to her as she received congratulations from a sea of fans. As soon as she exited the arena, I followed her, hoping for an explanation. I thought whatever she had to say couldn't be worse than the humiliation I just experienced. But I would soon find out how wrong I was. I caught up with her in a quiet alley. She stopped and turned to me. I walked to her, smiling, and took her hands in mine. But she frowned and pulled her hands away. Cheryl, what's wrong? She hesitated, staring deep into my eyes. We can't be together anymore. What? Why? I couldn't believe it. Just last night I had held her in my arms as she stared up at me lovingly. The Cheryl in front of me now looked so different. She was cold, uncaring. I got into the academy. We're on different paths now. I'm going to be a warrior, but you'll always be a loser. I staggered back. I thought you were the only person who believed in me, but this whole time you thought I was just a failure? She didn't answer. But she didn't need to. It was clear from her face she thought I was worthless. I rubbed my forehead. You know you only got to stage 9 because of the herbs I gave you. I could have taken them for myself, but I shared them with you instead. Cheryl let out a harsh laugh. They would have been wasted on you, Aiden. There's nothing you can do to level up. You'll always be weak, no matter how hard you work. I stared in disbelief as she handed back the jade pendant I'd once given her. It's time to face reality. This was never going to work. 3 years of love reduced to nothing. Then she lowered her voice, suddenly concerned. Please don't tell anyone about us. I clenched my jaw. Of course she was ashamed. She had always wanted to keep our love a secret. I thought it was because of her strict household, but now I knew the truth. I tossed the pendant to the ground. Don't worry, I'll keep your secret. Cheryl turned and walked off without so much as a glance back at me. Tears blurred my vision as I ran away. I'm an idiot to think someone like her could ever love me. The breakup replayed in my mind like a broken reel as I slogged my way to the local tavern. At least here I could drown my sorrows. I pushed open the creaky door and the stench of herbal liquor hit me immediately. Dust coated every surface and rats scurried in the corners. Still, I liked it here. No judgment. No reminders of failure. Just Wes, the tavern owner, and his bad jokes. Ah, look what the rats dragged in. My favorite customer. Wes slurred from behind the counter. I tossed a few coins on the bar top. Your only customer most days. Wes slid over a jug of frothy ale. Half left. If you puke or pass out, I'm taking it back. I slumped onto a stool and swallowed the ale in one gulp. Heat bloomed through me. Good stuff, I muttered. Only the best for you, Wes grinned. Rough day? Something like that. Wes leaned back, arms crossed like a worn-out philosopher. Life kicks your teeth in, then charges for the dental work. But hey, you're still breathing. I remember when you first stumbled in here, thin as a twig. Look at you now. The doctors once said I wouldn't live past 12. I was born with a disease that eventually killed my mother and left me with weak bones. Since I was a little kid, I had tried everything to increase my strength, but nothing seemed to help. I offered a dry smile. Maybe it's your liquor keeping me alive. Wes's eyes twinkled. Wouldn't be my first miracle. I sighed. My girlfriend dumped me and I failed the martial arts preliminary trials. Wes shrugged. So try again. They're having the second round of trials soon. Wes, how drunk are you? I said I failed the prelim. They won't let me compete in the next round. Everyone knows you can appeal the ruling. I swore I saw a glimmer in Wes's eye now. Yeah, but the only way to appeal it is by fighting someone above your level and winning. I laughed bitterly. That's a fool's hope. So you're giving up? My eyes sharpened. Never. I'll try again next year and the year after that. Even if I never make it, I'll keep training. Wes stared at me for a long moment as if reading me. Then he nodded to himself before ducking behind the counter. He returned holding a small, dusty bottle. Wes poured a thick, greenish liquid with a faint shimmer into a small glass. Been aging this for 20 years. I was saving it for a good reason. Today's close enough. He handed me the glass. My stomach churned at the smell of the bitter liqueur. Why's it green? It's special. Drink. I chuckled. Looks like pond water. All right, let's see what's so special. I downed it in one gulp, hoping to get it over with. Boy, was that a mistake. As soon as the alcohol entered my mouth, it felt like fire ripping down my throat and exploding in my chest. My face flushed red. Wes refilled my glass. Another. I coughed. That's really strong. I wanted to refuse, but Wes shot me with a warning look that told me not to even bother. This time, the burn dug deeper, like it was seeping into my bones. My blood felt electric. Vision blurred. I staggered upright, gripping the counter. I suddenly felt like I was going to be ill. Wes, I'm done. I gotta go. Wes laughed knowingly. I'll see you soon, Aiden. With a flick of his wrist, the bottle floated back to the counter, like magic. I blinked twice, my vision hazy from the alcohol. I thought I must be imagining things. I waved weakly as I stumbled out. Sorry you wasted your best stuff on a lightweight like me. As I opened the door, I could swear I heard Wes whisper, You're not a waste. You're raw iron. Let's see if you can become a blade. Still drunk, I almost made it home, only to pass out at the edge of the woods in a bank of snow. All night I tossed and turned with strange dreams. The next morning, I woke with a start to the sound of trickling laughter. I looked around me, unsure where I was. Then I remembered the night before and how drunk I had been. Had I really spent all night asleep in the snow? Shouldn't I be dead from hypothermia? Strangely enough, I felt warm, somehow even healthier than yesterday. It was as if I could feel my blood coursing through my veins. No pain, just a strange warmth, and a brief flicker of light across my skin before it vanished. I stood, feeling lighter on my feet. Something's different, I thought, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Then I heard that trickling laughter again. It hadn't been in my imagination. It was a laugh I knew all too well. Suddenly, Cheryl appeared from behind a tree, a smile plastered to her face. But that smile fell as soon as she saw me. Babe, why did you stop? Another voice came from behind her. I knew that one, too. Max tumbled out from behind the same tree, grinning as he buckled his belt. My breath caught. Were they together already? Or had she been cheating on me this entire time? I turned to retreat, not ready for this, but Max called out, Aiden, wait up! I want to introduce you to someone. He reached me before I could bolt. Have you met Cheryl Adler? You probably remember her from yesterday. She's a fantastic martial artist, among other things. He wiggled his eyebrows suggestively. I glared at Max. Years ago, before we secretly dated, I confided in Max that I was in love with Cheryl. He knew exactly what he was doing. I opened my mouth to speak, but Cheryl beat me to it. Nice to meet you, she said coldly. I clenched my fist and bit my tongue. I couldn't believe she was pretending not to know me. I turned to leave, but Max grabbed me by the arm. Need a lesson in manners? Everywhere you go, you embarrass the family. I'm not in the mood, Max, I growled. I knew it was a dumb idea to argue with him, but tears were pushing at my eyes and I wasn't about to let him see that. Max's face twisted in anger as he shoved me. A level 8 push should have knocked me down, but I barely stumbled. "You really want to fight?" I snapped, nostrils flaring. He hesitated, surprised. Then a sickly smile spread across his face. "I don't want to beat you to a pulp in front of my girl." He slipped his arms around Cheryl's waist, pulling her against him. "Besides, we were busy before you interrupted us. We should probably get back to what we were doing." Max leaned down and planted a kiss on Cheryl's neck. "Max!" She giggled as he held her closer. I marched off, unable to stand one more second of this. As I made my way through the woods, my head was pounding. I couldn't believe my girlfriend left me for my cousin. In a fit of rage, I wheeled around and slammed my fist into a nearby boulder. I heard a loud crack as my fist made contact. My eyes widened as the rock split down the middle. No way. A level 3 couldn't even break a plywood board in half, let alone a boulder. I punched again. Another crack. Adrenaline coursed through me. I'd been stuck at level 3 for years. Now I had finally leveled up. But how? I replayed the events of yesterday back in my head. The only unusual thing I'd done was drink Wes's strange green brew. Wes? Hadn't he said something odd as I left the tavern? Was this his doing? Without a second thought, I turned on my heels and ran for the tavern. To find out, you need to download the Pocket FM app now to listen to Flameborne and thousands of other premium stories for free.